About how this is Raw again, back at it again with another banger video. We're out here doing astrology for week 4 of November 2025. Now, here are the energy themes of the week, right? This week we visit Beat a Nigga Ass City. Mercury comes out of the microwave. We skip in a field of rainbows, and our emotions go through an gauntlet. Okay? It's an interesting week indeed. So, November 23rd. Now, yesterday at like 11 p.m., the moon actually went into Capricorn. So, earlier today, we may feel a little more grounded and be able to utilize our emotions in a more concrete fashion versus the past few days. Now, this grounding may be cut hella short because Mars squares the nodes. Dun, dun, dun. So, let me tell you, this is like the universe said, here's every change, every belief, every fact, and I don't care how you feel about it because there's a plan that's above your plan. Now, in the long run, yes, this is for the better, as everything with the right perspective, right? As is everything with the right perspective. However, in the moment, we about to get our ass kicked as a society. Woo, nigga. Mars in Sagittarius square the nodes in Pisces and Virgo, and 14 degrees is such a faded financial ass whooping that will shift our perspective towards dreams, beliefs, and structuring those ideas and leaving the data, facts, and figures. This will be abrupt too, especially because the financial shifts that have been going on have been undeniably world changing. If you know, you know. Excuse me. I would not be surprised if banks shut down or some financial giants sent out some emails to their top clients and potentially record clients talking about the immediate changes occurring. Payment systems may go down as well. You may also find that after they go down, that you have some extra capabilities on how you send payments. We shall see. November 24th. Today, the moon sextiles the north node and trines the south node, which helps us leave our critical nature and go more towards believing that anything is possible. Now, this occurs at like booty call hours. So, unless you're on the opposite side of the world or participating in a sneaky link, you may not feel this one. So, the moon aspects all the planets tonight into the very early hours of tomorrow. Damn near. So let me run through all the aspects and then let me interpret them to you. So first, the moon sextiles the Venus and Mercury conjunction in Scorpio, then it squares Chiron in Aries, then it opposes Jupiter in Cancer, then it sextiles Saturn retrograde in Pisces, then it sextiles Neptune in Pisces and trines Uranus in Taurus simultaneously, then it conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius. Damn. Now, I'm kind of combining 2 days here because this is like a chain reaction of things occurring. All this happens in like a 12-hour period. So I interpret this as our structured emotions, when harmonized correctly, get a message about financial matters or about a loved one that makes us rethink some things. This rethinking brings out some traumatic and painful thoughts, which can cause us to take certain actions based on those traumas. Then those, then those our emotional states become expanded and can cause that trauma to blow up in people's faces unless we have already reprogrammed our subconscious to not be triggered. Then, whatever state we are in, we have a choice whether to solidify that action or to redo and refigure out how to properly utilize our pain. Now, all it's going to seem like everyone is skipping in field of rainbows and ponies, but no matter which direction we choose to frolic, the field is going to morph into something we were not prepared for, kind of like choosing a random board in a video game. Then to end it all off, wherever we land will cause us to either be emotionally chaotic or we will have transformed our subconscious into something beneficial. To sum all that shit up, our emotions are about to go through a gauntlet while we are, as a whole, refusing to or finding it hard to express ourselves. Now, some of this gauntlet is easy flowing. Some you may have uh, to find a sweet spot for, and some is more challenging. Excuse me. I would say to I would say to just realize that no one really knows what they are doing, and we are just all trying to make it. That may help you keep centered. It helps me. We shall see. November 25th. Now, if you saw yesterday's clip, I touched on several other transits for today because it was like a gauntlet of transits happening back to back. Going back to back. Back to back. Going back to back. Anyway, if you didn't watch it, I suggest you do because this video will be short. So, right after that major gauntlet from yesterday into today, the moon in Aquarius sextiles the sun in Sagittarius. This is an alignment between the population's collective knowledge and what people are perceptually aware of. Being third house to the new moon in Scorpio, this is us being able to communicate what we have learned and transfer this knowledge, this rational thinking, to our conscious reality. November 26th. Early in the day, Venus comes into a grand trine with Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. This is like a nigga with a cold heart finding harmony with his emotions and being able to structure them and philosophically expand on them for the first time. Yay! Today may feel overly emotional with a hint of restraint that doesn't allow you to go too far off the edge. Now, if you ain't got water energy in your chart today, and this week as a whole will probably be kind of sucky. Right? As the moon travels through Aquarius, it comes into a semi-sextile and an inconjunct with the North Node and the South Node, respectively. Almost simultaneously, it comes into a sextile with Mars and Sagittarius. This is almost like the crisis that emerges from our emotional blind spot will be affected by our desire to attain and go after a higher perspective. It can get to a point of like an emotional pummeling, right? This blind spot is a fated event that is taking us away from Virgo and into Pisces, away from the ground of reality and into a dream life utopia, away from the annoying critic and into the annoying airhead. Now, I'm not talking about the individual people, I'm talking about the energy of the signs, so don't get your panties in a bunch, y'all. Alright? November 27th. So we wake up in the morning feeling, hey, yo. Anyway, so we wake up and we are visiting beat a nigga ass city. All right. So the moon in Aquarius sextiles Chiron and Aries. That aspect is us visiting the city of beat a nigga ass. Now, just because we are visiting the city of beat a nigga ass does not mean that we have to actually stay there and beat a nigga ass, okay? The sextile gives us the emotional intelligence to come into an energetic harmony with our traumas if we take the time to, meaning we can leave beat a nigga ass city if we decide to leave. It wasn't our fault we came to the city. Excuse me. It wasn't our fault that we came to the city. Our car was running out of gas. But now we have to make an active choice to not beat a nigga ass and let our traumas get the best of us. Hopefully you choose to not beat a nigga ass and beat a nigga ass city and get back on the straight and narrow after you done filled your car up with some gas. So shortly, we either stay or leave beat a nigga ass city. The moon comes into an inconjunct with Jupiter in Cancer in a square with Venus and Scorpio. So whatever route we chose while we were in beat a nigga ass city is going to be blindly amplified in a sort of crisis situation. And then we may find ourselves at a crossroads. At the crossroads. where we are challenged by a cold-hearted woman with a vendetta. This could be a fight or it could not. In my opinion, whether it is or not is dependent upon what you did and beat a nigga ass city. If you really sat there and beat a nigga ass, then that energy is for sure going to move forward. If you decided to leave and not beat a nigga ass and be compassionate, then the energy of the conflict can be more easily alleviated because of the actions you took prior. A few hours now that's not necessarily 100% true, but interpretation. A few hours later, the moon comes into a square with Uranus and Taurus. This is something you can't prepare for. Your anus, unconventional opening, is such a black hole that you don't know what will come out. Now, this will also be challenging, so I think that there is a sort of surprise battle you may face later in the day. If you didn't beat that nigga ass in the city, you now have the energy to handle this surprise. Then, right after this, the moon enters Pisces, which is going to be an interesting time, as this will be the first quarter square shortly. But we will talk about that tomorrow, as that is when it actually occurs. November 28th. So we wake up and whatever crazy shit happened with you during the new moon in Scorpio is going to start to sprout. Okay, the moon in Pisces is creating the first quarter square with the sun in Sagittarius. So this is how this works. I'm sorry. So this is how this works. Excuse me. The new moon is where we plant the seeds, and the first quarter square is where the seeds start to sprout. So whatever bullshit you was doing around that new moon is starting to sprout. Hopefully that bullshit was some good fertilizer because that particular new moon was a bitch. And bitches don't sprout flowers out their asses. Another major thing that occurs is that Saturn goes direct, which is really intense, yo. That's a massive deal. This is huge, okay? Now, bruh, sis, twin, whatever the fuck. If you have not been walking in integrity, you will know. If you have been walking in integrity, you will know. You will know because Saturn is either going to give you props or whoop your ass. Okay, okay. Because you're either going to be like, yay, or you're going to be like, like it's going to, one or the other, y'all. We are no longer restructuring anything. The structure has been built. The building is finished. Did you build something that will last the test of time or that will fall over by the big bad wolf? Huffing and puffing and shit. Okay. No cap though that this is not small, y'all. When Saturn goes into Aries, let me tell you, when Saturn goes back to Aries, we got, oh, yeah, what is it? You feel me? All right. Don't say I didn't warn you. Shortly after this, Venus conjuncts Lilith in Scorpio, and then a few hours later, the moon conjuncts the North Node in Pisces. This is interesting because the new moon that just occurred was on Lilith. So it's almost like the population is going to experience a divinely fated event that probably has something to do with those sprouts from the new moon. I bet that some dirty laundry from some politicians comes out today. And I think it will be sexual in nature. Maybe pertaining to that guac 300,000 between and Bill. Or some other shit. We shall see. November 29th. So we wake up in the morning. Hey, yo. So we wake up and Mercury is out of the microwave and is now direct. Get ready for shit to start moving faster than it has been before. Now, it's not out of uh, is not back to the point that it was at when it started. So like six degrees of Sagittarius when it started. Right now it's at 20 degrees of Scorpio, if I'm not mistaken. 20, 21 degrees. So it's not back at 6 degrees of Scorpio yet. So we're not reviewing, but we're going back through the stuff that we already reviewed. We're not going back into new type of stuff, if that kind of makes sense. Now, do get ready for shit to start moving faster than it has been before, though. I'm telling you, it will go lightning speed. It will go lightning speed. We have finished rethinking, reworking, insert word there, and now we are taking that information and moving forward. Now, I think whatever that was released that maybe was held back a little will now be shown as an option. And then by the time Mercury goes into Sagittarius, it's going to be all in the news like a slaughterhouse. It's going to be interesting. Shortly after, the moon conjuncts Saturn in Pisces, giving us the experience of attempting to structure the divine, not restructure, because it's now no longer retrograde, right? Now, whatever that looks like, it's whatever that looks like. Then shortly after, the moon conjuncts Neptune, which is the population either experiencing emotional bliss or being blissfully gaslit to oblivion. I can see people being so emotional by this point that people are begging for the water to stop flowing. But I think the tsunami just got started. But by this point, the dam has broke and the waterworks are here. And that's that on that. Now, about to do all the signs. Okay, we're going to go from Aries all the way to Pisces. Now, remember, these are mostly for the rising signs, but the sun and moon do apply. Okay, be aware of that. Well, and these we're going to go over Saturn going direct. Okay. Now, for Aries, Saturn goes direct in your 12th house. Okay, you're probably going to get some better sleep now as your dreams may shift. You may start to develop an ability to structure your life around any addiction or addictive behaviors you recently have been reworking. You can also find that weird vibrations that seem to have left may come back, but in a way where you are prepared for them. If you have done the work, at least. Let me know how it turns out for you in the comments below. Taurus, the Saturn going direct occurs in your 11th house. If you had a fallout with a friend group, you may find that things have worked themselves out and you have become acquainted with them once again. You can apply that to communities of people as well, like your neighborhood, right? If you were your neighborhood is really more your third house, but you get what I'm saying. Communities of people. If you were in a review for like a bonus from work or something like that because you were doing well or some other type of reward from work, you may start to see some headway with this. Let me know how this works for you in the comments below. Gemini, Saturn going direct occurs in your 10th house. If you have been on a forced hiatus from work for the past few months, or if you have been finding it hard to find work, you may find that you are able to work again. It wouldn't be unexpected necessarily, though. It would be based upon the restructuring you have been doing in that department of your life. You get out what you put in with this one. Let me know how it turns out for you in the comments below. Cancer, Saturn is going direct in your 9th house. Over the past few months, your thoughts and ideas about the way the world works and your perception around it has been reconstructing. You have been redesigning that part of your life. Now that Saturn is direct, you are no longer redeveloping these philosophies. You are now putting them into practical application. Or divinely practical, whatever. And these concepts into the real world. I'm sorry, and taking these concepts into the real world to see how they work. Let me know how it turns out for you. Comments below. Leo, Saturn is going direct in your eighth house. You may have some investments that may have been put on hold, or these financials couldn't move forward for some reason. So with Saturn direct, these investments should start to move forward and crystallize into what you have been envisioning them to be. You can extrapolate this out into the areas of wisdom, death, and trusting divine timing. Let me know how this turns out for you in the comments below. Virgo, Saturn is going direct in your seventh house. You've probably been the hermit recently, kind of alone, not lonely, just more so isolated from social realm. You have been thinking about when you pop back out, how it will look, what can I do to get ahead and do better with my relationships, etc. With Saturn direct, you are starting to get back out there, or people are coming to you with relational opportunities, business, platonic, and or romantic. Let me know how it turns out for you in the comments below. Libra, Saturn is going direct in your sixth house. You may have been in a sickly state or in a corridor of changing your lifestyle and your habits. Finding out what combination of foods works best for your body, or finding out better sleep habits, etc. You know, scheduling your life better, etc., etc. Now, with Saturn direct, it's time to implement these concepts into a tangible practice and become consistent with them so that you can experience their benefits. Let me know how it turns out for you. Comments below. Scorpio, Saturn is going direct in your fifth house. You've probably not been in the spotlight as much as you normally are or can be, because you have been trying to figure out the best way to be seen. Should you start wearing this or that? Should you speak this way or that way? Should you be yourself around everybody or not? Etc. Saturn going direct makes it so that your review about these and other fifth house topics, such as children, speculation, and artistry, are now moving forward in a controlled fashion. There may be bumps along the way, but if you keep moving forward, you will see your imagination come to reality. Let me know how it turns out for you in the comments below. Sagittarius, the Sagittarius season out this bitch. So Saturn is going direct in your fourth house. Parents, grandparents, your ancestral lineage, your legacy, and places you call home may have felt like they were under construction, like you, like you have not been able to connect or become close to these people, places, and things. You may even have been the one to keep your distance in these situations. Shortly here is going to start to be time to build again. You'll probably feel like you need some company and start missing people. I know stop missing you. And missing people, or they will start missing you or need something from you, which will start a chain reaction for you all to start talking again or start building again. Let me know how this turns out for you. Comments below. Capricorn, Saturn is going direct in your third house. You may have been taking a break from school or learning about something, taking a course, or even taking a short break or staycation. It probably feels as if you have been stuck from leaving your immediate area. You may have even been refining some of your skills. Over the next few months, it may feel as if you are getting back into these subjects, getting back into action. I'm sorry, getting back into action, not these subjects. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, especially if you had dropped something earlier in the year, it's about time to pick that back up, okay? Let me know how that turns out for you in the comments below. And also make sure to follow me, because most of y'all ain't following me. Follow me. Aquarius, Saturn is going direct in your second house. You may feel like your money has been funny lately. Probably been down on your luck, or maybe some deals did not go through, or your paycheck came up short. Maybe you put out some investments and you've been waiting to see it sprout. Over the next few months, these subjects and more should start to enlarge. They will get bigger in direct proportion to integrity and how intentional you have been. Hopefully, you have been putting in that work. Let me know how this turns out for you in the comments below. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. I don't know why I do that for y'all. Oh, and Pisces, I appreciate y'all because every week I do go on for y'all. Y'all have some of the most views and some of the most likes and comments and bookmarks and stuff. So keep doing that. Thank you. And make sure to follow me. Anyway, Saturn is going direct in your house. You've probably been feeling stuck and unsure about things, potentially like you had a growth halt. Like life has been standing still for a while and you have been trying to relearn and restructure who you are and why you are, right? Maybe even what you are. Your personality at the core of it has been rebuilt, and now it's time to release the beast. Release it, right? Not in the end of the world type of way, but in a let's dominate the world by making everyone think we are delusional, while in fact we are outside of this reality, like a Pisces would do. But seriously though, it's time for it all to come out, all to come forth. Let them have it. Let them know. Wow. Let me know how this turns out for you in the comments below. Nah. Appreciate all you guys for coming. I appreciate you all for stopping by. Click the link in my bio to join the congregation. It helps me out. Follow me on all my social medias. That also helps me out. And like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all that good stuff. All that stuff helps me out. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. I've been doing this for a good like 5 months now. I got about 18,000 followers on TikTok. I got like 100 subscribers on YouTube, and I have like 400 on Instagram. That's pretty. That's pretty. I mean, for 5 months to being consistent, I think that's pretty decent. But let's try to get that number up, yo. Because a lot of y'all be watching my stuff, but don't be following me. So follow me. That being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Peace out.